Hello everyone, I'm John, your host on the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome back. We're going to have us a lively week coming up. A lot of strangeness has happened. A lot of what planet did I wake up on has happened. A lot of apparent dystopian activity is going on. And I want to start with something that I got a picture of last week late, and I thought, I need to talk about this, but in what context? You know, and I thought, well, you'll figure it out. You're a smart kind of guy. Well, I'm just going to talk about it. I don't care how it fits into context, but you can decide. I don't need to tell you. You'll figure it out. So there's a picture on my desktop here, and I'm going to put it in the video and let you get a good look at it. So let's see. Go ahead, and you can pause it anytime you want, or I'll just leave it up over here in this side of the screen, enlarged. I was getting a sandwich. I stopped at a supermarket in a small rural city. I'd say, if I remember the population sign, somewhere around 7,500 people. A grocery store. And I was getting a sandwich made at the deli. And I turned around and there was a bunch of magazines. And I walked over and I saw this one and I thought, that looks kind of like a religious magazine. It says The New Kingdom. And I was thinking, you know, that's a religious thing, sounding kind of, right? And then I looked closer and I realized it wasn't. It was a legitimate magazine. I couldn't believe it. The most influential Arab leader. That's the top. I thought, the most influential Arab leader. What is this? Is this Newsweek? Is it Time? No, it's not. The magazine's called The New Kingdom. And it's transforming the world at 32. Well, who is the most influential Arab leader? Who is he? Meet the next king, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. I thought it was a joke. I'm starting to think this sounds like that movie that kids watch called Aladdin. Prince Ali, mighty is he, Ali Ababa, right? Come and meet him and all this stuff. Meet the next king. And it's a picture of this nice looking guy. Dressed in a really nice toga with a nice red thing on his head. Right? Definitely an Arab. He is the Crown Prince of the United Arab Emirates. He's the one that had the purge a few months ago where he decided he would run around and arrest everybody that was his opposition. Now, I did not pick the magazine up. I did not read it. I didn't care to. The cover was what I was going to talk to you guys about. Saudi Vision 2030. Really, Saudi Vision. Our closest Middle East ally, destroying terrorism. Now, by writing it that way, our closest Middle East ally. It sounds like this is an American magazine being written about the New Kingdom. I mean, is this the heavenly kingdom? The New Kingdom? This is the kingdom of the world? Our closest middle ally, meaning America's closest Middle East ally? Controlling staggering $4 trillion business empire. It's estimated that the United Arab Emirates has overestimated by at least 80% the value of what remains of the oil left in their ground. I believe the corporation they're trying to form is called Aramco, and it's going to be traded publicly. That is, they're going to sell ownership, stock, controlling interest in Aramco, which is a Saudi Arabian corporation that's going to have part of its holdings be the remaining oil reserves. And here in the magazine, they're claiming it's $4 trillion. Now, next little headline, building a $640 billion sci-fi city of the future. That, as if he's doing it. This guy right here. Mohammed bin Salman, or Salman, right? And improving lives of his people and hopes for peace. And then the bottom is inside Saudi Arabia, kind of like Inside Edition. What is that doing in a supermarket in the United States of America in a very rural city where I'm sure the white population percentage is above 90%? Literally, this made absolutely no sense. Not just that it was there, but that this has been published at all and put out for Americans to read. It's as if I woke up on a different planet, and there's the context. It's as if I woke up on a different planet. Meet the next king. Why should we give a rat's ass? I think last time America talked about kings, we said we don't give a shit. And his name was King George, and there was a revolution over it. You know, he's improving the lives. How is he improving the lives of anything? He's the crown prince, and if you don't do what he says, he'll kill you. He's not lifting a finger. He's not doing a thing. You know, it's complete screwballness. But it's this Bizarro world that seems to have just unfolded on top of us. You know, on top of that, I was having a conversation the other day, and a feminist broke in and started talking about subject matter that was inappropriate as far as I was concerned. But this person decided to give us her opinion, and started talking about how men should not be allowed to pass rules for women because women have vaginas. And because men don't, they're not qualified to tell women what to do with their bodies. And I stood up, pulled money out of my wallet, put it on the table, and walked. I could only take a couple of moments of that. The idea that having a particular body part exempted you from the rule of law. I mean, it was bizarre. It was Bizarro land. And I thought, is that how you really think? Right? And I asked a couple rhetorical questions, offered question about, well, you know, people tell me what to do all the time. I'm not allowed to do what I want. And their response was, oh, I've heard that argument before, but this is about vaginas. And if you have one, you are special. And I just thought half the people on the planet have them. They're not that special or unique. And the person said, well, in the country I'm from, that doesn't matter, but here in America it does. And so there's a class of people, a classification, a special interest group that's here that understands that in the United States of America, there are no longer equal rights. Now there are people who have some rights, and then people who have those same some rights plus more. Completely off the hook illogical. There's nothing that has anything to do with critical thinking that's in the minds of these people. It's like this. This has nothing to do with my world. It's being presented to us as if we should care. And I'm thinking, why? Why should we care? What kind of predictive programming psyop bullshit is this? Yet there it is. Then I had to listen to some woman tell me that men aren't allowed to make laws that have anything to do with women. Only women can tell women what to do. And of course, you know, any other argument or discussion, attempted debate would have been a waste. The indoctrination of the public has grown up around us. If you're listening to this channel, odds are you have a brain between your ears, and a good one. Because everything outside my world is starting to make less and less sense. And I know for a fact, though, that there are hundreds of thousands and millions of people who think like me. Yet apparently, we're being silenced, right? And where I want to finish this video... No, I don't want to finish it yet. Before I finish it with discussion of the Petro Yuan, I want to jump into the hashtag March for Our Lives. I was going to try and get away from this concept of leave your brain at the door, but I can't help it. This weekend was the March for Our Lives, which is a bunch of young people marching for gun control. I've been very critical of these young people. They are mentally retarded at this point. That is to say, they have not been taught how to think with their minds. They are behind the curve. What is sad, what is scary, is they're going to start voting, more and more of them. It's not that they outnumber the intelligent people, the people with experience, us, me, you, the taxpayers, but they're making a lot of noise. Now, what's fascinating is I have looked at their videos on YouTube, and they have anywhere from 181 views to 1.5 thousand views. If I were to put this video on YouTube without any censorship, right, it would have gotten somewhere between 12 and 24,000 views in about a week. These people can't get jack shit. Nobody on the world of YouTube cares, but they're in the world of mainstream media. It's over there where the thinking, or rather thoughtless people are, that are having that beamed into their heads on CNN and ABC and NBC and Headline News and name your network. The hashtag March for Our Lives is about their feelings, and that they believe that you and I shouldn't be able to defend ourselves. Meanwhile, right, they want to take away your rights in every fashion, unless they deem you to have them. In other words, there seems to be some sort of dystopian takeover. We're being marched on by a bunch of kids. Fortunately, they don't have weapons or pitchforks, torches, swords, right? They're appearing to be non-violent. But the communist takeover of Russia, when Tsar Nicholas was killed and his family was killed and his daughters were killed, it was done by young people, college students, basically brainless idiots who thought communism would work. But here we go again. And these children, these mind-numbed idiots, are being supported financially by anti-gun billionaires. This is being supported by them. It's being organized by them. You think children can organize this? They can't fucking organize a party that won't be raided by police because they're so stupid they park 100 cars on the street, blare the music, and start screaming and yelling and breaking things. That's what these kids do. That's their idea of organizing. And I'm to believe they can organize hundreds of thousands of people and pay for it? Don't believe this for a second. This is a powers that be, Illuminati, deep state, counter-intel bullshit march. It is one of the facets of their attack. As Trump is trying to drain the swamp, and I know there's a lot of confusion about Trump. What is he doing? Is he really on our side? What the hell? I know there's a lot of stuff going on about Trump. What do? I can't change Trump, and I can't stop these idiot kids from marching. But they're pushing. They're pushing back using this. Now, what is sickening to me, what is absolutely sickening, is the exploitation of children. And I called them retards because they are educationally handicapped. That is, they're indoctrinated to such a level and degree that they're not thinking like a rational human being. I have listened to the arguments and discussion. Here's one for Jolene. High Impact Flicks, YouTube channel, has gone down and interviewed and done several videos now that he's posted. And hopefully Jolene can get them listed down below. High Impact Flicks. He's very anti-authoritarian. But he goes and interviews these numbskulls. And they express nothing but ignorance. And he asks questions in a way that makes them reveal to themselves how stupid they are, how wrong, how hypocritical, how ignorant, how foolish. And I'm just going to start by giving one example. He asked them how much they trust government. Do they trust government? And if so, how much? And all of them are like, no, we don't trust government. Yet here all these kids are. After answering no to that, the ones he's talked to, they turn around and say they want government to protect them. And they want government to take the guns away, right? So they're asking an entity that they can't trust to take the one tool we have as a free people to defend ourselves. Not from deer, not from rabbits, not from the birds and beasts of the air, but from other tyrannical people. The people in this country are not tyrannical. Mass murderers are tyrannical. Nations around the world have demonstrated that they're tyrannical and they will kill the people. The Second Amendment is here to protect us. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but these fucking idiot kids can't figure it out. What planet are they on? It's almost like they fried their brains with Ritalin, have smoked too much, I don't know what kind of weed, right? But they're buying this type of shit. They would probably worship this guy as their king, because these neo-socialist commies and feminists don't seem to have any problem with radicalized, out-of-control Muslim people. But they do have a problem with Whitey, with Mr. Honky here, with Mr. European guy, European descendant, Mr. Common Law, I have rights. They got problems with me. And I don't really care what color you are. If you say you're a free person, they have a problem with you. So if you're black and you go, hey, look, I love the Constitution, man, that guarantees my right, they're going to call you a fascist. Doesn't matter what color, what age, nothing. You're a fascist to these punk kids and people that support idiots like this. He's 32 years old, really, and he's got the experience to control a staggering $4 trillion business empire. Really, he's improving the lives of his people. These kids up here would believe that. Hell, he could be, instead of 32, he could be 22. And these kids would think, oh yeah, we got a 22-year-old in charge. It is almost like I'm on another planet. It is Bizarro land. I wake up and I gotta check. Is this the real John? Right? Is this what's going on? And it's happening right in front of our faces. It's happening all around us. Like I said, last week my kid says, hey, look, my California school, high school, which is supported by California taxpayers, which is me. They are not shorthanded of funds. They can't manage to do enough paperwork to keep their school properly accredited. So I think the class after his, at that point, the accreditation fails, and they won't get diplomas. What the hell is going on? And these are just little teeny pieces here and there that I'm grabbing out of the air and going, what is happening to our nation? The stock market, right, it hasn't looked this bad since '08. There are people comparing the exact patterns to what happened in 1987. Not just me, but people are looking at this thing coming down. And I went to this young fella, I think he's 28. I went to his website, and he claims to be a professional financial advisor. Let's just call him that. And he says, I've been trading since 2009. I know what I'm doing. You need to buy in now, right? You buy the dip. And I'm thinking, you're a dip shit. You bought in at a massive dip in '09, and then you've experienced nothing but massive growth through 3 phases of quantitative easing. That is the pumping of trillions of dollars into the economy in order to balloon it up and inflate it. You don't have a fucking clue what's going to happen in this economy. He's got no perspective. The kid, I swear, the young man, he's wearing a fucking hoodie with the hood pulled over. Who does he think he is, Zuckerberg? Off his rocker, telling people to throw their money in Wall Street. And I'm thinking, holy batshit, right? And people are listening to this guy. They're eating his shit up. I think there were, after 5 hours of being online, there were 15,000 views on this. This guy gets more hits than intelligent, well-spoken people who have been around. I'm talking about Jim Rogers, Gerald Celente, Peter Schiff. Let's see, other guys I listen to, John Rubino, David Morgan, some more mainstream guys. I can't think of any more right now. I've lost my mind over what's going on. I don't mind that young people need to grow up and learn from experience. You know, I don't mind that. I think that's great. Everyone needs to learn from their experience. I had to learn from my mistakes in life. But when people who are making a massive mistake are following or taking orders, they're being controlled and manipulated by very powerful billionaires. They're being used. That is exploited. It makes me sick. And it also shows me the complicity of the mainstream media in pushing this bilge at us continuously. I thought it was going away, but it's not. They keep pushing this hashtag March for Our Lives. Go ahead and march for your lives. What's funny is, if I wanted to kill students and everyone in the NRA were a bunch of killers, wouldn't those marches be an ideal place to have a mass murder? Thousands of dumb kids everywhere. You could just line them up and mow them down if you're a psycho. But I haven't heard about any psychos mowing down thousands of kids with guns. That would make a lot of sense, right? If the world was full of psycho killers. As it is, we had one killer kill 17 people in Florida. David Hogg, the little prick, thinks that he is the only one who gets to speak and that no one can argue against him. David Hogg is a little bastard as far as I'm concerned. Now, their mantra is protect kids, not guns. What the fuck do they think is protecting the kids? It is guns. It starts with police as the first line. If an army from a foreign country invades, what do you think they're going to do to kids? They're going to mow them down just like everyone else. Who's going to protect them? Americans with guns. The military with guns. Guns is what protects kids and the people who handle them. Now, if I had a choice between protecting kids like David Hogg and red-blooded, Constitution-loving, God-fearing Americans, I would protect the latter. I would not protect David Hogg because he doesn't value the Constitution. Only those pieces that he thinks are important to him. The Constitution is not a fucking salad bar where you get to go and pick what you want and leave the rest. And then tell everyone else they can't have what they want. That's what these little communists are talking about. Picking and choosing. Picking and choosing. Now, I'm 48. If I want to use foul language, I can. I've been around the block. I've had my ass kicked. I've done my fucking time. I've worked my ass off. I paid the price and paid my dues. He hasn't done a fucking thing yet. The hardest work he's done is picking up a pencil. So he can kiss my ass. And so can the rest of these kids. If there was a choice about where my money's spent, it would not be spent on education anymore because education has failed us. No wonder homeschooling and charter schools are taking over. It's because parents want real curriculum for their children. Real education. Thinking, in other words. And you're not going to get it in public school because these are the types of things that happen. Let me put it this way. The college or student loan debt for college students measures, I think, about $5 trillion. That's how much money has been borrowed by kids so they can go get 4 more years of socialist indoctrination. And our nation is indebted to this system that produces a high percentage of communists. Communists that want to sit around and accept entitlements and not contribute to the system because they're too smart for everyone else. They're too valuable. It's an elitist mentality they're teaching these communists, and that makes them dangerous. They think they're better and smarter. And if I could meet the likes of someone like David Hogg in person, it would be interesting to hear them try and explain themselves without a script in front of them, right? And someone holding their hand telling them, it's okay, you're going to be fine now. Now, to finish up, in conclusion, on the 24th, the Chinese initiated their petro yuan. A couple of months ago, I talked about it. It was coming, and they delayed it. It was supposed to start on the 24th, which is Saturday, kind of an odd day to pick, and then it goes into effect in a way that we're going to see it on the 26th, which is Monday, today. Is it going to instantly affect our market? Maybe. Would anyone know what the petro yuan is other than people who are paying attention to politics and economics? Not likely. Basically, it's China being able to buy oil in a currency that's their own rather than using the US dollar, which has been the standard since 1971. China is the United States' biggest creditor, meaning we're their debtor. We're in debt to them as a nation because they buy our treasury bonds. They buy our dollars to use in trade. They are going to stop doing that. In fact, they've threatened that in response to Trump and his tariffs. We are going to enter into an economic war. It has begun. The consequences of this are going to be painful for everyone as we go into an economic reset, and it's going to cause, to varying degrees and levels, shit to hit the fan. Guys like David Hogg are going to be begging for a job, flipping hamburgers when they get hungry enough. These little college kids who are too good to get a regular job are going to be the first ones to find themselves hungry, scared, and really disillusioned when they're faced with a reality that they're not prepared for. To all the millennials, to all the younger than millennials, Generation Z, to all the Generation Xers, to everyone out there who has a job and has been working their asses off, I commend you. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. Because these commies are going to explode in fury when they discover that they've been lied to, that they've been tricked, hornswoggled. They're not going to be happy about it. The system is going to go through some sort of reset. And heaven forbid, if the idiots in our nation are the ones that regain control and reshape our nation in an image that involves a clown like that. Mohammed bin Salman to the rescue. Salman, does he get a big S on his chest? You know, I don't mean to just disrespect the guy, but I know a little bit about them and their family and who they're allied with, what dirty deals they've done and made, how they operate. Nobody's perfect and nobody's without sin. I understand that. Everyone makes mistakes. But he's not that special and he's not that nice. So, get prepared. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. You want little punks in their early 20s telling you what to do, taking all your shit, all your money, and then telling you what you get to have? Do you want little pricks like that making laws that you have to obey because their feelings are hurt? And don't forget, you have to call them by whatever pronoun they want. If they want to be a girl one day and a boy the next, you have to recognize it and kiss their little ass. The world has lost its fucking mind. Don't lose yours. And I'm going to try and keep mine. Right? But they want you to think that you're nuts. That you have to accept them. And we do not. And if they push hard enough, they're going to cause civil unrest and civil disturbances and quite possibly a civil war. So make sure you understand what side you're on, right? And be prepared. Wow. And this week is just going to get crazier. You guys be cool, and I'll talk to you again soon.